Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to James's Snooker Nation, the home of snooker, and today we're going to be looking ahead to the German Masters. Yes, the 2024 German Masters will be held at the Tempodrom in Berlin, hosting the most elite players in snooker. And boy, oh boy, can I not wait for this competition to start. Let's get straight into things with looking at how the qualification was slightly changed this year. So we only had one qualification round instead of the two before. The competition felt like with the 2 rounds of qualification, they were losing some quite big names. So they've changed it to one now. The top 8 of the competition, their kind of qualifiers, will be held over to the venue in Berlin, and they will play to get into round 2 of the competition over there. So the competition has a total of 64 players. And let's just take a look at some of the kind of missing names that we've got that kind of lost out in their qualifiers. We've got Jack Lisowski, who's really struggling for form at the moment. In fact, there was an interview quite recently saying that he's just not enjoying the game at all, which is kind of disappointing to see. I love Jack Lisowski. He's one of my favourite players. I love the way he plays the game. But unfortunately, he was beaten 5-3 in his qualifier to reach Berlin. Stuart Bingham, who's also been really struggling at the moment, was beaten by 18-year-old Liam Pullen in his qualifier in Sheffield. So unfortunately, he won't be making it to Berlin either. We also won't see the likes of people like Garry Wilson, Junhui, who was beaten 5-2 as well by Chinese Junhui. And recently, we had a tweet from Ronnie saying, and we all thought this was going to happen anyway, to be honest, Ronnie O Sullivan isn't going to be... he's not going to be competing in the competition due to medical grounds, but we probably all know he just needs a bit of a rest. He's just won 2 ranking event titles on the bounce with the Masters and the World Grand Prix. So, to be honest with you, I don't really blame him. So let's look ahead to the draw here. Got it up here for you guys to have a little look in detail. We know that Ali Carter is the reigning champion, beat Tom Ford 10-3 in that impressive victory in the final last year. And I'm sure he would like to continue that kind of form going into this competition. He's had some great form. Obviously, played Ronnie in the final of the Masters. Did really well there. Was a little bit unlucky, I think, actually. And Ronnie just kind of turned it on. But I think Ali is going to play okay here. So he's got Michael White in his round 1 kind of qualifier technically. I mean, I'm not quite sure why World Snooker have decided to bring the qualifiers over to the venue, because if one of these top 8 players does lose in round 1, that's it, they go home. So it's a bit of a strange one really to me. But anyway, Ali Carter plays Michael White, and the winner of that match there, as we can see, will play Peng Yi Song in round 2. So a match that I was really looking forward to actually was Hossan Vafai versus Elliot Slesser, game 12 right here. But unfortunately, there's been a walkover. Now, I don't know all the details about that, and I will fill you guys in if I do find out. But I assume that Vafai just doesn't want to take part in the competition anymore, which is a shame, because that would have been an absolute great match to watch. There's some interesting politics going on there. We all know that Vafai is an interesting character, especially at the moment, and that would have been a really nice one to watch. So we've also got Shaun Murphy, who's obviously in the top 8 at the moment on the 1-year list, and he plays C here. The winner of that match will go on to play Andrew Higginson in round 2. So we'll have to see what kind of performance Shaun Murphy puts in. I really want him to go far actually in this competition. He's been playing kind of average this season, I'd say, and yeah, it'd be nice to see him kind of go further into the draw this time. And we've also got Mark Selby versus Marco Fu, who I don't know if you guys saw, but he played really well against Stuart Bingham, did Marco Fu, in his Welsh Open qualifier against Stuart Bingham. And he's playing really quick since sort of COVID and after COVID. Marco Fu's kind of fell off the tour a little bit, and he's sort of started to up his game, up his tempo, and his kind of natural game sort of showing really well now. And so I'm really interested to see how that game kind of goes. And talking of Stuart Bingham, Luca Brissell is playing the guy who beat Bingham in the World Open qualifier. So again, Bingham's had a really tough time at the moment. But yeah, Luca Brissell will play against Chadder, who beat Stuart Bingham in his World Open qualifier. So again, an interesting kind of matchup there as well. So moving on to the favourites, these are the kind of my favourites for the tournament. Who is kind of most looking likely to win? Of course, we have to start with Judd Trump. What a season this man has had already. 3 ranking event wins to his name this season. And he's got Lucas Kleckers in the round 1. So yeah, we'll just have to see how that game goes. Of course, he's won this competition twice before, in 2020, which was the kind of weird COVID year, and in 2021 as well. Of course, Ronnie would have been a favourite, but he's dropped out now. So I think we also have to kind of talk about Ali Carter a bit. Like I said earlier in the video, he's looking in really good form, and we know that he likes this venue. Obviously, he did so well last year winning it, and has kind of helped him, get back on the tour, back into the top 16. And so we've got to put his name in there. Don't know if he's going to do it twice on the bounce, but we'll have to see how he kind of performs. Zhang is also a name that people have been talking about. He's had a fantastic season, and on the 1 year list, he's actually world number 3 at the moment. So yeah, we'll have to see how he performs. Of course, sort of looking at recent form, he was beaten by Shaun Murphy in the Masters in the quarterfinals, so not sure how that's going to go for him, but definitely a name that needs to be put into the mix. And for me, my final kind of favourite for this competition would be Mark Williams. We know that he's kind of just revived his career, really. I mean, he won the British Open back in September, and he has won this competition once before in 2018, so we'll have to see how he gets on. Just having a little look at the bookies' favourites, quite similar to how my kind of favourites have gone. And the last time I checked, Trump was 3-1. Selby, actually, interestingly, is 6-1. Mark Williams is 10-1. Shaun Murphy, Mark Allen, and John Higgins are all 11-1. So now I took to Twitter to kind of have a look at players that might not be really commonly mentioned. I mean, this is such an open tournament. We've got sort of, 64 amazing players here, but the draw is so open that kind of anyone can get to the final. We saw Tom Ford got to the final last year, which kind of came out of nowhere, really. I mean, he's not really up there in terms of kind of competitions and how getting to the late stages of these competitions. So I think I was kind of looking through the draw, and I think Chris Wakelin has quite a good chance of kind of going further into this competition. If you actually look at the draw, and we kind of look at the draw here, we kind of see where Chris and who he's got to play and where he's positioned in the draw here. So he's playing, as you can see here, Andrew Paget in the first round. I do fancy Chris Wakelin. I mean, he's been, like I say, he's been in good form. He's been in pretty good form. And yeah, if he wins, he's going to be playing the winner of Aaron Hill and Yuan Shun. And then, yeah, as you can see, this kind of little bubble of the draw here. We've also got Mark Joyce and Si Jiahui, who we all know how well he did in the World Championships last year, getting to the semi-finals. And Alfie Davis down here. So, yeah, it's quite an interesting little part of the draw. I think he could probably, make at least the quarterfinals. And I really do think that he should kind of be getting to that kind of stage of the tournament. So, keep an eye out for Chris Wakelin. I also took to Twitter to ask some of you guys who you think your ones to watch were. Mark Davis was suggested by Lula on Twitter. And actually, I was kind of looking at his head-to-heads this year and recent kind of performance. And he actually beat Luca Brissell in the Chinese International Championship back in November. So definitely looking out for Mark Davies as well. And Kieran, as mentioned earlier in the video, also thinks that Zhang is going to take this to the next level. So we're going to have to see how these guys kind of perform. It's a really interesting competition, actually. It's really open. And with the kind of way that the top 8 have to qualify for this competition, I think it's going to be, a really open competition. And like we saw last year, I mean, anyone can win this. If, say, 2 or 3 of those top 8 get beaten in that first round, then, you're kind of in the mix, really. And it doesn't matter who you are. Just moving on, finally, if you guys want to watch this, if you're in Europe, you can watch it on Eurosport and Discovery Plus. And if you are anywhere else in the world, there will be a description to the World Snooker Tour page where it tells you exactly where you can watch it, what channels you can watch it on. But apart from that, guys, leave your comments in the description below. Who do you think is going to win? Who is your one to watch? And I look forward to kind of making a video after the tournament, speaking about it, how it's gone, and we'll see how it plays out, I guess. But apart from that, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, leave a comment, and make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. We've got some kind of more social media set up now. All links will be in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the competition.